There's a question that haunts every ambitious person at some point in their life. It's not about working harder. It's not about being smarter or more talented. The question is this: why do some people seem to effortlessly catch every break, while others, equally skilled, equally driven, watch opportunity after opportunity slip through their fingers? We've been told it's about talent, about persistence, about who you know or how hard you grind. And while those things matter, there's something else at play. Something older, quieter, and far more powerful. Something the ancient Greeks called Kairos, the god of the opportune moment. Not chronological time, but the right time. The fleeting instant when action and circumstance align perfectly. Most of us live in chronos, the endless march of seconds and hours. But the people who seem lucky, who seem touched by fate, they've learned to see in Kairos. They've learned that timing isn't just important, it's everything. And today, we're going to explore why. Here's the truth that no one wants to hear. The world doesn't care how ready you are, doesn't care how talented you are or how much you've prepared. The universe operates on its own rhythm, and success comes not to those who are most qualified, but to those who are qualified at the right moment. Think about it. A seed doesn't grow because it wants to. It grows when the soil is right, when the water comes, when the sun reaches it at the correct angle. Plant that same seed in winter, and it dies. The seed hasn't changed. The timing has. This is the hidden law. Value is contextual. Your skills, your ideas, your very self are only as valuable as the moment allows them to be. A brilliant umbrella salesman will starve in the desert. A firefighter is a hero during a blaze, but invisible on a quiet Tuesday. Timing doesn't just enhance your talent, it activates it. And here's what makes this so difficult to accept. You can do everything right and still be wrong simply because the world wasn't ready for you yet. Or worse, because the world was ready and you weren't paying attention. We grow up believing in meritocracy. Work hard, be good at what you do, and you'll succeed. It's a comforting thought. It's also incomplete. History is littered with geniuses who died unknown. Vincent van Gogh sold one painting in his lifetime. Emily Dickinson published fewer than a dozen poems. Nikola Tesla died broke. Were they lacking in talent? Of course not. They were out of sync with their time. Now consider this. Mediocre ideas have launched empires simply because they appeared at the right moment. Social media apps that were rejected in 2003 became billion-dollar companies in 2007. The same product. It's the same pitch, a different moment. Talent is your potential. But timing is the key that unlocks it. You can be the most skilled person in the room, but if the room isn't ready to receive what you offer, your talent becomes invisible. It's like speaking perfect French to someone who only understands Japanese. The skill is real. The connection never happens. This is why you see talented people stuck, frustrated, wondering why they're not getting ahead. It's not always about working harder. Sometimes it's about recognizing that the door they're pushing isn't meant to open yet, or that they're pushing on a door when they should be looking for a window. So if timing is so crucial, is it just luck? Are we all just waiting for lightning to strike? Not quite. Because when you study the people who consistently find themselves in the right place at the right time, a pattern emerges. They're not passive. They're not just sitting around hoping for opportunity. But they're also not forcing things. They've developed something rare, a sensitivity to momentum. They can feel when the current is moving in their direction and when it's not. Think of a surfer. A great surfer doesn't create waves. They read the ocean. They position themselves, paddle hard when they sense the swell building. Critically, they let waves pass that aren't right, no matter how much effort they've already invested in paddling toward them. This is the pattern. Awareness, positioning, patience, and then decisive action. It's not about seizing every opportunity. It's about recognizing which opportunities are actually aligned with the larger forces at play, with where the culture is moving, with what the market is ready for, who you've become. The people who master timing aren't the ones who move fastest. They're the ones who move when movement means something. So how do you develop this sensitivity? How do you know when it's time to act and when it's time to wait? First, pay attention to resistance. It's not the internal resistance of fear. That's different. But external resistance. When you're pushing an idea, a project, a career move, and everything feels like swimming upstream, that's information. The world might not be ready, you might not be ready, or it might be the wrong path entirely. Conversely, notice ease, when things start clicking into place, when doors open without you having to break them down. When people start reaching out to you about the very thing you've been working on, that's a signal. That's the current moving in your direction. Second, develop pattern recognition. Study your field, your industry, your craft. What's the natural cycle? When do opportunities typically appear? After economic downturns. During cultural shifts, following technological breakthroughs. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything has a season. Third, build before you need it. This is crucial. The right moment will come and go in an instant. If you're not ready, if you haven't put in the years of unglamorous preparation, you won't be able to move fast enough. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. But that preparation has to exist before the opportunity arrives. And finally, trust your intuition. Your unconscious mind processes far more information than your conscious mind ever could. When something feels right, when you get that quiet inner certainty, even if you can't explain it logically, pay attention. It's often your deeper self recognizing an alignment that your thinking mind hasn't caught up to yet. But most people get this wrong, and they get it wrong in predictable ways. Mistake 1. They move too early. They have an idea, they get excited, and they launch before the foundation is built, before the market is ready, before they've truly mastered their craft. They confuse urgency with timing. Just because you're ready to move doesn't mean it's time to move. Mistake 2. They move too late. They wait for perfect conditions. They wait until they feel completely ready, completely confident, completely certain. But perfection is a myth. At some point, you have to jump. The key is jumping when the ground is closest, not when you've convinced yourself you can fly. Mistake 3. They ignore feedback. The universe is constantly giving us information. Doors closing, opportunities arising, patterns repeating. But people get so attached to their timeline, their plan, their vision of how things should unfold, that they miss what's actually unfolding. In mistake 4, they give up too soon. Just because it's not your time today doesn't mean it won't be your time tomorrow. Some opportunities take years to ripen. Some skills take decades to mature. Giving up 6 months before the breakthrough is tragedy, not wisdom. The art of timing requires discernment. Knowing when to push and when to wait, when to pivot and when to persist. This isn't something you learn from a book. It's something you develop through lived experience, through paying attention, through making mistakes, and learning to read the signs. The ancient Chinese had a concept called Wu Wei. It translates roughly to effortless action or non-forcing. It's not about being passive. It's about acting in harmony with the natural flow of things. Like a martial artist who uses their opponent's momentum rather than fighting against it. Consider water. Water doesn't force, finds the path of least resistance. But given time, water carves through mountains. That's the power of timing combined with persistence. Knowing when to flow, when to wait, when to freeze, when to evaporate and rain down somewhere else entirely. Or think about a chess grandmaster. They don't just see the board as it is. They see it as it will be. 5 moves, 10 moves ahead. They understand that the power of a piece isn't fixed. A pawn in the right position at the right moment can be more valuable than a queen in the wrong place. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter while struggling as a single mother. She was rejected by 12 publishers, but she kept going. And when Bloomsbury finally took a chance in 1997, the world was ready. The cultural moment was right. Children's literature was being taken seriously again. A generation was hungry for magic and meaning. Same book, different timing, different outcome. When you begin to see through this lens, everything changes. You stop measuring yourself against arbitrary timelines. You stop feeling behind because someone else succeeded at 25 and you're 35 and still building. You realize that your journey has its own rhythm. The setbacks weren't failures but redirections. That the delays weren't punishments but preparations. That you're not late. You're exactly where you need to be to become who you're meant to be. This perspective doesn't make you passive. It makes you strategic. You invest your energy where it can actually create results. You learn to recognize dead ends faster. You give yourself permission to pivot without shame. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to force your timing on the world, when you start working with time instead of against it, things start happening faster. because you're no longer wasting energy pushing against closed doors. You're not burning out trying to make something work that isn't meant to work, at least not yet. There's a certain peace that comes with understanding this, a lightness. Because if timing is real, if it truly matters as much as we're discussing, then your worth isn't determined by your current results. Your value isn't measured by whether things are working out right now. You're playing a longer game. You're planting seeds. You're building capacity. You're becoming someone who, when the moment arrives, will be ready to meet it. This doesn't mean you stop working. It means you work differently, with more awareness, with more patience, with more trust in the process. You stop comparing yourself to people who are in a completely different season. Stop feeling desperate because you understand that desperation closes doors. You start noticing the small signals, the subtle shifts, the quiet invitations that you used to walk right past because you were too busy forcing something else, and you develop faith. Not religious faith necessarily, but faith in timing itself. Faith that if you keep preparing, keep learning, keep showing up, your moment will come. Maybe not when you want it. Maybe not how you imagined it, but it will come. So here's what I want you to take from this. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not missing out. You're in your season, whatever season that is. Your only job is to be present for it, to prepare when it's time to prepare, to wait when it's time to wait, to move decisively and completely when everything inside you and around you says now, because talent opens doors, effort keeps them open. But timing decides which doors are even worth approaching. Stop rushing. Start reading. The moment you're meant for is already making its way toward you. Make sure you're ready when it arrives.